In this video today, we are going to use the full spectrum Snapmaker Orca fork to print out this knitted rainbow chick using translucent red, green, and blue PLA filament, as well as a more opaque white. And so let's begin. And this is the filament we're going to use. It's Tech Bear's translucent PLA that I found on Amazon. We're going to use the red, green, and blue, which are the translucent filaments, and then we're also going to use the more opaque white that was included with this set. And the spools that I purchased on Amazon, the holes in those spools are too small to fit on the spool holders of the U1. And so I am going to download some spool adapters from MakerWorld. I will include the link to these in the description of this video. The first thing we want to do is we want to download the alternative version number 2.8 longer thread bolt. And so we are going to just download the 3MF, and I'm just going to download it to my downloads folder. And then we're also going to want to download another version of this. So you want to click to see more. And the one we want is 2.8, V2.8 with even longer threads. Once again, we're going to want to download the 3MF file. All right, these are the parts that print out with the just basic 2.8 version. You screw this part on, and these filaments that I'm going to be using, even though it does fit, and then you screw this part onto here, I mean, it does fit. But as you can tell under here, it doesn't catch too many of the threads. And so I wouldn't really trust that to hold it. And so that's why I am also going to be printing out the longer screw part of this. Okay, I've printed the larger piece here. And so you just screw that on top of here, and I'll get my filament out, and it's going to go on this way, so I want it to go this way so that it's good and tight. And then you just slide it on all the way. Then I'm going to load it into the feeder. Make sure this is tight enough. Okay, and I have my red and green loaded on this side, and I have blue and white loaded on this side. TD values of the translucent filament is about 21, 22, and the white was 7.2. And so we're going to see how this does with the full spectrum. Okay, and I'm going to edit these. I am going to select, I'm going to do generic PLA silk, and our first one that we've got loaded is a red. And then this one is just going to be a generic PLA, and the color is white. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to load them all. and I've got the full spectrum fork of Snapmaker Orca slicer, and I'm going to open a project, and I'm going to start by opening up the template file that I created for CMYK. And I'm going to save this project as RGBW with this file. And so I'll go ahead and save it. And so now I'm going to change out my colors here. And now I'm going to adjust the RGB values of the red, green, and blue so that the red is 25500, the green is 0, 255, and 0, and the blue is 0, 0, 255. And then the white is going to be 255, 255, and 255. Okay, so we have our custom palette made up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to slice this, and then I'm going to print this palette out. Okay, and now that we've loaded our filaments into our U1, you can see it's mapped all of them wrong. It got the red one okay, but our green is on position 2. Our blue is on position 1, and our white is on position 4. And so the poor AI that works on this I think needs a little help. So I am going to auto level my bed and go ahead and send this to the printer. And this is our printed out color swatch that we'll use to set the colors on our chick. Okay, we're going to download this model from MakerWorld. So you do not want to open in Bamboo Studio. We want to download the 3MF file. And then we are going to open the Snapmaker Full Spectrum. Okay, we have opened up our Piggy Palette RGB template that we created earlier in this video. If you don't have a second plate here, just add a plate. And then we're going to come up to File, and we're going to Import, and we're going to import the Rainbow Chick that we just downloaded. Okay, so here's our Rainbow Chick, and you'll notice that it added 3 filaments to our filament list here that we're going to want to eventually delete. But because there's a lot of color painting in here, we want to reassign anything that's 5, 6, or 7 before we delete them. So I'm going to select the chick, and I'll come up here to color painting. I'll hold down my scroll button to pull the chick out from underneath the color palette. Now it looks like the number 5 is this purple on the side. So I'm going to make sure that I have the fill tool selected and that my smart fill angle is quite high. And I want to reassign that to something that's above a 7. And so I'll just pick number 20 here. It's a purple. Okay, now it looks like we've got 2 of the same color here. And I'm not sure which is which, so I'm just going to go ahead and assign all of these to a new number here, because I'm not sure which one is 2 and which one is 6. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to reassign all of them. And then the number 7, which appears to be the face. So I'll just reassign that number 36. And then now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and escape out of here. Now we can delete these. So I'm going to start with number 7. And so we'll select our chick and color painting. Hold down the scroll bar to get the chick out from underneath our color palette. And let's see, I think I'll choose number 8. For the face, I'm going to use number 6. Actually, I'll use number 1 for this red part. I am going to use number 5 for the eyes. Use number 30 for this. And for the bottom of the wing, I'll use number 29. And I'll use number 18 for this. Oh no, I'll use number 6 for this red. And I will use actual green for this. And I'll use number 34 for this. And for the bottom one, I will use 31. And I will use number 35 for the feet and the beak. So I'm going to hit escape to get out of color, and I'm going to change to global, and instead of 0.18 extra fine, because of the texture of this chick, I think we can get away with a 0.16 layer height. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this file. I'm going to save the project as, and I'm going to call it the Rainbow Chick using the Peggy Palette 38 RGB. And we're going to slice the plate. Let's see, it puts some supports down, and I know I don't need supports for this, so I'm going to disable supports and reslice it. All right, so it's going to take approximately 4 hours. And as I mentioned, normally I would print these at 0.08 layer height or maybe a 0.12, but because of the texture on this bird, I think that helps hide the layer lines. Plus the fact we are using transparent filament also helps. And so I will send this to the printer. Now it's very, very important that you check that it has assigned the correct filaments. I've got red on 1, green on 2, blue on 3, and white on 4. So it happened to get that right this time. So I'm going to do some auto leveling, and I'll also record a time lapse, and we'll go ahead and send it to the printer. And we will be back in approximately 4 hours. And here's the result. I think the face of this chick is too dark, so I'm going to select a different color and reprint it, and we'll see how it turns out. But first I'm going to come in here to color painting, and I am going to change the color. I had originally used 8 and it turned out to be way too dark, and so I'm going to use 34 instead. So I'm going to select 34. I'm going to make sure that I've got fill selected, that my smart angle is high, and then I'm just going to come and click on the face. And then I'm going to go ahead and slice this and send it to the printer, and we'll see if we like this one better. the chick with the different colored face. Compare that to the darker face. Now we can also compare this with some translucent cyan, magenta, and yellow and white filament that I used. Translucent. I prefer the color palette of the CMY over the RGB. And here is a CMY from Sunlu, which is more opaque CMY. But in this particular chick, I think it turned out well. These two I did in 0.08 millimeters. Or this one, no, I take that back. I did this in 0.16, but this was 0.08.